Hello, everybody, and welcome for another wonderful speaker on the Countdown 2025. Nicolette, welcome, and thank you so much for coming to share your gifts with us. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing so well. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
That's awesome. I would like people to know who you are and what you do so that when they get your gift and the magic that you have to share, they know that they are getting it from the specialist in the area. Can you share a moment or an experience that sparked your passion for what you do, and how does this passion translate into the work you offer?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I was introduced to breath work about 7 years ago. I was actually struggling with a lot of depression and anxiety, frequent panic attacks. I was suffering from a thyroid condition, Graves' disease, had also had a lot of people in my family with mental illness and depression. So I was always in search for a natural remedy. I never really prescribed to Western medicine too much. I always tried to find my cures naturally through homeopathy or yoga. And when I reached a point of no return is when I actually did my first breathwork session. And when I did my first breathwork session, what happened was my heart got opened up in such a way that I couldn't explain it. And I just basically was like, this is the medicine. I need to run towards this. And I just invested, became a breathwork specialist. And it's a passion for me because the human condition I'm very fascinated in, and how we all struggle on so many different levels. But the beauty about breathwork is that we do it every day. It's something that we don't like put our consciousness in, but once we add our consciousness, the things that we can untap are just infinite. And so I'm passionate about helping others, sharing space, really holding space for people to transform and really become the best versions of themselves.
Yeah, we always say, go back to basics, go back to basics. And I mean, the basic is breathing, right?
Absolutely.
So what is one key transformation, or I know you've already talked about the benefits about dream work. I'm sorry, about
Okay.
breath work. So what would be one key transformation that someone can expect from engaging with your work? Like how would this impact their life or their goals?
Yeah, so many ways, and each individual is different. I always like to say that breath work is for every body, right? Every single body can benefit from breath work. So it is very vast and different for everyone. But what I will say is that what you can come out of a breathwork journey is you will be able to start to recognize some of your patterning. Start to recognize when you can stop yourself. You have more self-control because you go inside yourself in a way that you're not able to do in any other modality, right? You're going inside, you have your whole brain, you have your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, and in the middle you have the critical faculty. The critical faculty is kind of what tells us like Superman can't fly. It's kind of that like stop, right? And so when you do breath work, you open up the entire mind. So everything is possible and everything is infinite. So when you leave a breath work session, you are able to understand that you are your own physician. You are your own pharmacist. You can create all those chemicals within yourself by yourself, but it just takes practice and tapping in. So what you can come out of it really is endless. But what I will say is that everybody comes out of it with a, wow, that was amazing. And all you did was add your consciousness with your breath. So you will definitely come out with a wow, but the possibilities really, if you use it as a practice, is what I encourage, right? That's why I facilitate through my business, Chameleon Breathwork, a breathwork practice, doing it, integrating it, working together to really facilitate transformation. And that comes by having somebody hold the space for you as well and holds you accountable. Like we all need a coach, right? It's a breathwork coach, really, in the end.
Yeah, I know for myself, I have forgotten to breathe a lot of times, and having someone teaching you how to breathe, because when you learn how to breathe, you start dealing with the world in a different way. And I'd like to ask you a question. The critical how did you call it? The
Critical faculty.
the critical faculty. When you start doing breath work, the critical faculty still stays there, right?
It stays there, but it kind of like just goes into the background. Because usually when we're in our sympathetic nervous system, right, which is our fight and flight nervous system, we're always like, okay, we're looking for that saber-toothed tiger. We're looking for that, that's the old reptilian brain, which doesn't really serve us right now in the modern world, right? But it's part of our genetics, it's part of who we are. So the critical faculty there is really, it's a safety mechanism. It's like, I want to keep you alive, I want to keep you safe. But our issues now are like, is someone bullying me online, or like there's different things to be scared of now, and it's not, am I going to get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger? So the critical faculty, I won't say that it's useless, because it's not. It serves its purpose, but it's very heightened. And breath work, what we do is we come out of the sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight, and we drop into the parasympathetic, which is our rest and digest. And that's where we want to live. And by doing a breath work practice, you will be able to, I can tell you from personal experience, when things get heated or tense, I can drop into my parasympathetic at the drop of a dime, because I've trained myself now. Instead of living constantly on edge and with that critical faculty, I have control over it. And that's why I say your inner physician, you have control. You have the power. It's just that society wants you to believe that you don't, because they want to hold the power because of the masses. And it's understandable. But really inside, we all have this potential that's unlimited.
Yeah, and I love that you went there. So it's not that it disappears, it's what you do with it that becomes empowered, because the breath will definitely empower you as a human being on your path. And then you get to decide, like you're saying, how am I going to react with what I get?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to that saying, like, it's what you feed, right? You could feed the wolf or you could feed the sheep. Whichever one you feed is going to get bigger, right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing in life. So your body doesn't know what's real and not real. Your body does not know reality. That's a scientific fact. So you make your reality. You tell yourself what it is. So, and that's another thing that people don't understand is, like, all the thoughts that you're having, they're just thoughts. They're also not real. They're real when you put action behind the thought and you make it real. Otherwise, it's just a thought. It's just a random thought. And people are like, I'm in my head, I believe all my thoughts. It's like, let's slow it down. Let's take a breath. Let's go inside and see what is really, really going on. And then you can get really deep into who you are and what your essence of a human is, not all the chatter, right? We slow that chatter down.
Yeah, drop into the body with your breath and really feel the whole of who you are.
Yes, somatic, in the body. The body, if anyone's ever read the book, the body keeps a score, right? So the body holds everything, whether you believe it or not. It holds on to everything. It tense there. Someone said something to me here. And it's been doing that for your entire life. So cumulatively, if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you're like, ooh, there's so much I'm holding on to. Let it go. Let's let it go through the breath.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for what you do and what you bring to the world. And if you are listening today and you want to reach out to Chameleon Breathwork, I will put the handles in the show notes below. And before we leave, Nicolette, I would like you to give to the audience, what is one action that you encourage everyone to take to make 2025 their most empowered, aligned year yet?
Oh, such a good question. I would say get uncomfortable. I want everybody this year to get a little bit uncomfortable, because like I said in the earlier, you can wait for it to happen to you and be shocked and your nervous system just be completely out of whack once it hits you, or you can incrementally do small things uncomfortable so that when that big thing happens, because unfortunately, my friends, it probably will at one point, you're going to be ready, because your nervous system, you are ready to conquer it, because you're doing the things every day to get uncomfortable, whether that's a cold shower. Yes, I said it, cold showers, get under that hose in the middle of the winter, do it. Obviously, do breath work. Breath work is one of those things that you will not regret doing. It will become part of your life when you add consciousness to your breath. It's like I always say, once you learn something, you never can unlearn it. So once you do learn how to do a breathwork journey, you do learn about your breath and how it works, you never cannot undo it. So get uncomfortable, do breath work, and come visit my website. Check me out if you have a chance, and I would love to see you, and I'd love to help heal you as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your wisdom, for your presence, and for bringing breathing to the world.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.